Greetings viewers to my channel. Thanks for tuning in today. I'm going to at changing tires on this Rad bike. I want to see how hard it is, how doable it is, how repairable it is for somebody that's not mechanically inclined per se. This is a first for me on an e-bike. So this is my array of tools. I'm going to try to do it with just what I have here to kind of show really the ease of swapping tires on these electric bikes. Sometimes these projects, when you do have to do some swaps of things, cranks, forks, it can seem daunting because it's new to most folks. I haven't done this for quite a few years, and I've only done it on the legacy style bikes. So having a little bit of wire here in the motor and a little bit more weight than I'm used to, this will be a testament to me, how workable these bikes are at repairing. Like I mentioned before, we're doing the tire replacement here. As you can see, new tread. Once these knobs wear off and you have just that smooth surface, absolutely dangerous. You don't want to be riding it. You could hit the sand burrs, pop a tube. You could hit some sand and it just slides right out. Moisture, anything slimy, concrete, anything that you drive across with this, because you got the torque, you got, turning speed, all that, because it's electric, you want to keep your rubber strong. You want to keep it new. Of course, visually inspecting will always prove true if you do need to do that tire swap. Quality tires are also important. OEM, usually whatever was on it from the manufacturer is a pretty good bet that you're not going to run into issues when you just swap across, I call it. It's a DIY job. So doing it yourself, it may seem daunting at first, but hopefully this little video and demonstration will show you how easy this really is. It's nice to be able to do this quickly. Also, you could probably do this on the trail. If you're going out on a rough trail. We'll see how doable that would be. This still has a clamping pressure on your axle there. All right, we got the keeper loose there. You see there, slid back. Now this should be loose. See how it has a little give in there? One thing to be careful with these electric bikes is that you disconnect your wire. Otherwise, you'll rip the harness and then you'll be in for some expensive repair work. We don't want expensive repair work. Now we are going to have to cut these zip ties. All right, so there's your main artery that goes to your hub motor. Fairly straightforward. Your derailleur should pivot out of the way here, just like that. Keep them in order, that way when they go back on, you don't get them on the wrong side. And there is your motor and hub assembly. Nice and straight. Still rotates good. Bearings feel all right. We are on to the next step of releasing the air out of your tube. That will release the pressure on your rim. Then you got your little paddles here. When you put this in, be careful you don't catch your tube, because you can put a pinch on it, and then you're going to be replacing your inner tube as well. So there you can see is one side is off. All right, so I'm going to pull this tube out, get it out of the way so I don't accidentally do any pinches to it. All right, there's your tube. There were no issues with it, so we'll just go ahead and put that off to the side. Just come right off. All right, that is your removal. So probably about 5 minutes. Of course, I've done this a few times, so well, give me some credit for that. But for you, if you just take your time, probably 10 minutes. This is the reason we're swapping these out. I do like to inspect the rim and make sure there's nothing exposed. Sometimes you have the roots of your spokes can poke through if they get loosened up over time. You want to make sure those are all tight and there's nothing poking out that can gouge your tube. We're looking good, nice and clean. Sometimes you have to be cautious because these will have a direction on them. Yep, there's your direction. So when you do put these tires on, make sure you pay attention to your direction. Got our handy dandy. You're going to only engage one side of the tire at this point. Sneak your tube in at this point. I like to leave a little bit of air in this, not a whole lot, but just enough to where it's manageable. Because if you have it all limp and floppy, nobody likes limp and floppy. It's got to have a little air in it. Got to have a little tension. Valve stem in the hole. Engage your valve stem first. Get that in there nice and tight. Pull the tire around it like so, and then just slowly feed your tube around. And you're going to make sure your tube is fully seated in the valley of your rim. And now that it's in, you kind of get it seated, wiggle it around, make sure it's good. It'll also free up your tube to make sure you don't have any pinches coming in. I'm going to get my pump, add a little bit of air, and then kind of reseat it again because this is where you can get your pinches. Once again, you've seen this before in some of my other videos. This is a good addition to your travel kit if you're out on the trails. A little bit of air and just kind of see how it feels. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and reseat. If you look at your sidewall, you can tell if it's seated properly. If you have a weird gap like that, that's what I'm looking for. And that's where you're going to run into balance problems. See right there's a gap. You kind of want to get it down, make sure it's flush. I think we are good to go full air. There you are. One tire reinstalled. And I want your derailleur up. You go. All right, so that's the install. And then I'm just going to spin it, make sure. So that's good. It's nice and free spinning. On this is the keeper that I was showing you that will keep your tire from coming off if this backs off of your axle. That's your insurance policy to make sure your wheel doesn't fly away at high speed. Your big bolt on here fits on there, that square part. As you can see, free spinning feels good. I'm going to go ahead and apply my final torque. Guten Tag, elbow calibrated. That's the install. I'm going to have the last thing over here, which is your power cord back on. Plug and play. On these electric bikes, it's always important that when you pull off zip ties to put them back. Because if you don't, you're going to have this. See how this can come over and rub on your brake caliper there? Up here, it could get stuck in the spokes. You always want to put these attach points back if you remove them, because you don't want stuff rubbing and shorting out, go pass through it. So we'll go ahead and clamp that down. Then we'll snip off your excess. And there you go, just like factory new. If you enjoyed this video, like, follow, that helps. I enjoy making this content to help those that are getting more engaged with the PEV community. I don't like how some of the communities are not welcoming these new platforms with open arms. So I think that the more we have this community emerge from our towns and cities across the country, that we should have folks that speak out and advocate for more PEV trails, more groups. It's enjoyable. It's good for life. It's healthy. Thanks again for watching. Yeah.